Why is that lady got to yell at me every time? But anyway, in the field radio 91.3 FM, VKR gives the independent radio. I'm Erin Boogie. I'm here with Miss Lady D,
What's
finally.
going on?
And the Siri lady's yelling at us, telling us that we're recording like we don't know.
I feel like she switched up the phrase.
You know what, though? I kind of missed her voice because it's been so long since we've been able to record together and I've had to do monologues that I almost welcome her yelling at us like that.
Yay. I miss
I know.
recording. I I took this tasking and everyone's like, you're gonna love it. There's a lot of traveling. And no, like I would rather just be able to unpack my stuff and be working at a place for 6 months. Not like, yeah, I'm chilling. And then it's like the night before, it's like, hey, pack your stuff, you're about to go over here. And
Oh
then
my God,
figure
that's
out
a
how you're about to
lot.
get back. Yeah, like it was just like figure. I went to like 4 countries in like 24 hours, and it was like figure out how you're gonna get back now. I was like, oh okay.
Well, and keep in mind, you signed up for Alaska and ended up with this nonsense.
Yeah, I just everything, but it's been a really great experience, and at
I
least
like
I
the
could say that
optimism.
I've done this, and that's it. But I don't need to do it again. I know that.
Well, and you've been a part of some like history book stuff going on out there. So, that's really interesting too. And um for me being over here, because I mean our listeners don't know, they don't get to hear from you, daily like I do. But it's like crazy seeing stuff happening on the news and then hearing your perspective of like what's actually happening on the ground and how you feel as a person. Because I feel like sometimes the news does a good job of telling us maybe that there's some craziness happening, but not really on a human level of what people are actually going through over there.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? Hey, I never edited that video when I had that nice chat with that CNN lady. So I'm definitely
Yeah, we
gonna
gotta
I gotta
gotta
touch
include
that and
that.
put that out. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Um but I think I could talk about it now because I'm not there anymore. I think that's
Oh,
allowed.
okay. I didn't know if you could talk about it.
I I didn't know either, but I think I saw people post stuff and I guess it's okay. Like as long as you're not still currently there, then it's
Mm-hmm.
okay. So I guess let me see. Well, it's Sunday. So yesterday was September 11th. And so 10 years ago, I was 10. I mean, 20 years ago, I was 10. And my dad was like MTA Bridges and Tunnels and was like down there
Oh no,
working.
really?
Yeah, and was like working every day. Because remember, then they were like checking all the trucks that went on the bridge. Like they
Yes,
were
yeah.
afraid of everything. So it was just madness. And I didn't even see that guy for like weeks. And we would drive over certain bridges and you would see the smoke from the Twin Towers, like for I don't know how long that smoke was there. It like did not clear.
No, yeah. I went down in November and it was still smoldering.
Yeah. So that's 20 years ago. So you think about me, I'm like scared for my dad, like, oh my God, he works there. Like, what's gonna happen? And then so now I'm 30 and I went to Afghanistan to close Kabul. And he was like
Which
scared for me. So it was just crazy how that all came around. And
I was thinking about you too the other day because on the anniversary of 9/11, I happened to be watching the Netflix documentary that they just dropped. And that's more of like a deep dive into like Al Qaeda, how they began, like why they hate us, things that the government did and didn't do around that time, the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. And so it's more of like a deep dive into the whole thing instead of just like some planes crashed into stuff. Because I think a lot of the documentaries that you normally see on the History Channel for that day, they kind of just focus on that aspect of it. And so it's more of like a narrow scope of what actually happened because it was actually a lot bigger than 9/11. They had actually foiled some other plots by terrorists that were terrorist cells that were trying to do some other stuff before that and after that. So they pulled that off, but it really could have been a lot worse at the time, right? But one of the things that they like started with immediately was Afghanistan and Kabul, and I'm like, this was happening in the late 70s. It was happening in 2001, and it's still happening in 2021.
Yeah. I think they drove like a truck into the Twin Towers, like in what was that, 93 or something like that?
In
Like they
93,
tried it.
yeah.
They
Can we talk
tried it.
about one of the city girls tweeted out something to the effect of, how did Biggie know they were going to blow up the World Trade Center, not knowing that it also happened in 1993, and that made me sad for humanity.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's really weird to see like a generation of people who don't know stuff. And the thing is, though, I feel like when I was younger, I still knew stuff about the generation before me. Like that's like me being my age and in the 90s or early 2000s, R. Kelly had a tape and everything like that. And that's like me being like, I had no idea. Like that's literally how close
Well,
it
so
is. Like, how do you not know?
I actually flew yesterday on 9/11, and I would definitely be lying if I said that I would, it was a peaceful experience internally, because you always have in the back of your mind, like, what if this happens again? But then flying on the 20th anniversary, it's like, if this is going to happen again, it's probably going to be this milestone. You know what I mean? So it was a little weird to begin with. And then we were on the plane and everything was fine. And I was looking at some of the comments on one of the online blogs. They had posted like a remembering 9/11 thing. And some of the people commenting on it were like, I wasn't even born with this when this happened. Why are we talking about it still? And it's not that big a deal. And that would be like our generation saying F Pearl Harbor. We would never even think to do that. It's,
Yeah.
And 9/11 was obviously much more catastrophic than Pearl Harbor was. And I just can't imagine being like, that's not that big a deal. Like 3,000 people lost their lives. It's nothing, no biggie. Like that was pretty gross to me.
You know what? Similar to that, I saw people like, this many people died from COVID yesterday, like more than 9/11. Like, no, that's not what we're gonna do here.
No. You
I
know
was
what
like,
though?
this ain't
So
it, Chief. Mm-mm.
I was thinking about, that was another thing I was thinking about yesterday with the whole 9/11 thing, and then COVID on top of it, especially flying yesterday, because you're sitting there in your face mask and your hand sanitizer, and you know what I mean? So you're thinking about that too. And I was thinking how much the world changed after 9/11, and how much the world is now changed and will change because of COVID. And I think that COVID is the next serious event that we've had to live through, where it's like, on this day I woke up and everything was regular, and I woke up the next day and it will never be normal or regular or how we used to live again.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy,
It's
and I
too
don't
much,
even
y'all.
know if it's ever gonna end. I don't really understand it that much because, like I said, there's a bunch of other diseases and other things that like affect people, um, like in mass numbers. So, and there's always gonna be things that affect people in mass numbers. So I'm not really sure how to think about it moving forward, except for to try to be cleaner and more conscious, I guess. But yeah, I
And I
don't think
think
we need to
that's,
compare catastrophic events and be
no,
like,
no, they're both
like
terrible.
that.
End of story.
Yeah, like they're awful.
Yeah.
But okay, have you ever seen like the South Park episode with like the Mexican Joker where they're like,
The
it was Mexican Joker where it's like like the Joker became the Joker because of bad stuff
no.
that happened to him, right? So it was an episode where they were bringing light to the ICE, like separating families or putting kids in these places or whatever, the detention centers. And Cartman was like, well, if you treat these kids badly or what have you, one of them is going to grow up and be like the Joker. So you're going to create the Mexican Joker.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and I see tweets, like I saw tweets today where, people are like, remember 9/11. And then there was this girl that was like, of Middle Eastern descent and was like, I was in class And my history teacher asked me to leave the room when this happened, or like the day after it happened, so my classmates could grieve peacefully. So yeah, I remember. So there's a bunch of kids and a bunch of people who went through a whole bunch of stuff because of what those terrorists decided to do, because they're of the same descent.
Wow.
So it's just a never ending cycle of like foolishness.
Yes. Yep. 100%. That's the unfortunate part.
So, that's why I was just like on Facebook, I was just like, God bless everyone. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, everyone's hurt. Like, everyone got hurt.
It impacted the world. It really impacted the world.
It's like, how do we follow that up now? I don't even know.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to say, it's crazy that like 20 years later, we're still having these types of conversations surrounding that event, and how much, like, when you actually sit down and think about it, how much changed, how much sadness it brings, how heavy an event it was, and how, again, the world was changed forever. It's just like, it's almost too much for your brain to comprehend.
Yeah.
But I think we should get into some music and then get into this L-Tism interview, because he definitely has some dope energy. And I think that is a good way to come back from the heaviness that we just talked about. And then when we come back for the outro, we can talk about some lighter things. How does that sound to you?
For sure.
All right, so let's get into some music.
Welcome back to In the Field Radio. I'm Erin Boogie. I'm here with L-Tism. We're actually in the building this time.
Yeah. L-Tism. AbWorld, E-Boogie.
We haven't had an interview in person in a long time. I think Too Humble was the last time. Thanks to COVID, everything's been on Zoom.
Yes.
So for those who don't know, who is L-Tism?
L-Tism, an artist from Newburgh, New York, born and raised, straight from the street, giving you a story through music. That's L-Tism. AbWorld.
What was an early L-Tism like growing up?
Oh, I was really into school. I was into sports. Personally, I gotta say I was a good kid. Yeah.
You balanced that out with the streets, though.
Yes. I bounced off the street because, growing up, I think when I was a kid, it was like things I think I should have had, I didn't get. And then, I felt temptation to the streets.
And what age was that you started getting into all that?
13.
Okay, so real young.
Yeah, real young.
And talk about how the AbWorld phrase came about.
Oh, the AbWorld phrase came about. I brought that AbWorld phrase when we had generations of the Ab. So it was like before I came to the block, I grew up watching other generations on the block, and it was like first it was the Ab Boys, then it was the Ab Crew, and then we had other divisions. So I said, you know what, and since I was the only one on the block at the time, actually MCing rapping, I said, we're gonna make this Ab world. So no matter what part of the Ab you from, you under this umbrella.
And how old were you when you started rapping?
I started rapping, I was like my first year in college. So
okay.
I had to be like 17,
So you were a little
18,
bit older.
Yeah.
So you were on the streets, but also in college.
Yes.
You don't really hear too much of that.
Yeah, I got a scholarship playing basketball, so I went to college. Yeah.
What college did you go to?
I went to SUNY State University of New York in Delhi first, and
okay.
then I went to New York Institute of Technology.
And around that time, you had the Hood Classics out. It's that Leak and Get Your Drink On.
Yes.
But you didn't get to realize the full potential of those. So talk about a little bit about what happened back then.
Oh well, the Leak came about because of me running the streets. I started smoking weed in college, and then when I was running the streets, I dabbled a little bit into the Leak, which is Angel Dust, Sherm, and in that process, I came up with a song which was supposed to have been a warning to people and not to smoke it, but it turned out to be an anthem. So but in the anthem, if you listen to the song very closely, I'll tell you, the lately having brothers butt naked in the street. So if you hit it, use precaution.
So right after that is when you got locked up?
Yes, I got locked up running the streets. You know how that is,
So we actually have a really large incarcerated population that listens to this show.
Yes.
So this is something I want to talk about a little bit more. How long were you locked up for?
I was locked up for 7 years.
And what was the hardest lesson you learned during those 7 years?
I'm not as important as I thought I was.
Really? That was the lesson?
That was the lesson. You're not as important as you think you are. The world is bigger than you, and you're here for a reason. And it's not just to be selling drugs in your community. It's not to be running around here acting wild in your community. It's bigger than that. The picture's bigger than that.
And shout out to our listeners behind the walls. I know there's a lot of you. So is there any positive messages that you could send to our incarcerated listeners?
Oh, yes. Don't ever think that your life is over because you're incarcerated. Actually, I looked at it as, and I think you should look at it as, that God is making you stand still. If you was in the street, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. And that's why the album's name Focus or Fold, because you're in the street. If you're not focused, you will fold and be behind them walls. And while you're behind them walls, this is God sitting you down and letting you know, I'm giving you a chance to get it right. I'm giving you a chance to know yourself better and understand. And this is another way, whatever you think is so important while you run the streets, when you locked up, you realize it ain't that important. What's important is your health, your goals, your vision, and your family.
I think that's beautiful. So from the time you started hip hop, you got locked up, you did the 7-year bid, you came home. How had hip hop evolved in that time?
Oh, when I came home, from just speaking of the ad world, on my block, when I left, I was like only one rapping. When I came back, we had some good rappers, and I was like, oh, you rapping too? You rapping too? You rapping too? I was like, yeah. So, but I wasn't trying to rap anymore, but I was supporting all my brothers that was rapping. You know, I wanted them to know that I'm not here to rap, but I see what you're doing, and just because I'm not rapping doesn't mean I don't have love for hip hop, and I have love for you, so I'm gonna support.
So who are you listening to right now?
Who I listen to right now? Ad World. Nah, because I say that means I'm listening to my man Dope Coley, I'm listening to my man Meaty Bone, listening to my man Busy. Nah, but besides that,
Meaty Bone is In the Field radio alumni.
That's right.
He caught the pandemic Zoom interview though, so we got to have him come back on the show.
No doubt. But besides Ad World, who I'm listening to, I gotta say I'm listening to them locks. Jada, what up?
Versus did so much for their career.
Yeah.
That Versus battle with Dipset, and then when Jada went up against Fab, like their streaming is up on like several 100%.
Yes. Basically, what he just did is just show the world what they should have already known.
And introduced them to the younger generations.
That's
too,
right.
Which is dope.
Exactly.
So talk about, well, first shout out Miyagi, but talk about reigniting your passion for hip hop.
Oh, reigniting my passion for hip hop came with the track North American Massacre with Miyagi. Unusual Suspect came to me and like, yo, we cannot do no Ad World or North Miller track without L-Tism on it. And I respect my brother for that because, you know, he didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? I know there was younger MCs in my block was like, oh, you really want to go get him? Like, he rhymed like, he rhymed before us. So, like, Miyagi like, nah, you can't do no track without L-Tism on that track. So I made sure when I got on that track for Miyagi and for my boys, yeah.
Is that when you started recording for Focus or Fold?
Yeah, soon I got off that track, and not even that track. As soon as I see myself in that video, I was like, I'm back. I'm back.
So Focus or Fold is out now. How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling great about it. I'm feeling great. Everybody, you got to go get that Focus or Fold on all platforms. L-Tism and Ad World, Focus or Fold. Yeah, you'll love it. There's no skips from beginning to the end.
And what did it mean to you to be able to include those classics that you had put out previously, that Leak and Get Your Drink On? Because you weren't able to do much with them prior to being locked up, but now here you are getting a second chance to show those records to the world.
Oh, yes. I made sure that each one of them classics was on there because, first of all, I like to see myself a lot, and there wasn't no videos back then. I didn't do no videos. So when I did the video for them, I was like, yeah. But basically, I just want to make sure, when I did Focus or Fold, I didn't want to make sure I didn't do no solo album. I wanted to do an album with my brothers. All my brothers that was out there rapping on Av World, I want to make sure we did a collective album because at the end of the day, you look back 5 years, 10 years from now, we all going to be glad we did this. And within that, I wanted to make sure I put them classes in because that's what started me off.
What do you want fans to get from the project?
I want the fans to understand from this project is this project right here is basically the first stepping stone of me telling my life through music. So I'm on the block right now, and that's why you hear Focus or Fold and everything here on this album is us going through what we're going through on the block. We telling our stories from the block, and you got to understand that these are kids who trying to find their way. These are kids who are going through life, and basically. It's a lot of distractions out there when you run the streets, and that's why we named it Focus or Fold, because when you're out there, you might have goals and stuff, but if you're not focused, like my case, I wasn't too focused, and I didn't really get the chance to do the things I wanted to do in hip-hop because I got caught out there doing things I wasn't supposed to be doing, and I wasn't focused, and that's why my dreams at the time was folded and I was behind bars. But we back.
And you guys started a record label.
Yes. Av World Music, we up in there. Unusual Suspects, we up in the building.
Who's on the label?
On the label, Av World Music, me. Unusual Suspect, you gotta ask me, I get out. I think he like keeps secrets.
He's right behind you. Tell us secrets.
He ain't getting nothing. Me, I get like, yo, wait till we drop it, you'll hear it. But also on the Av World Music, we got Johnny Stacks. He also an artist on there. We got Puka. He's he sing R&B. He's on there. Brothers on there sing R&B, and so far that's what we got right there.
What do you got? What are your goals with the label?
The goals of the label is basically we got like I said, me personally, I'm putting out music and I'm basically gonna tell my life story through the music. So my next album, which would be my solo album, that would be called Duality, and that'll be a change. I'm not just on the block. I'm basically trying to get off the block and try to figure it out. So basically, I got 1 foot still on the block with 1 foot off the block, and I'm trying to go in another direction because I know I'm much more mature, and I know that the street life is not where it's supposed to be at. So Duality, you're gonna get the bad and the good, the light and the dark, the pros and the cons, the yin and the yang. Yeah.
Are you recording that now?
Yeah. Basically, right now we're getting the beats and the tracks together, and we're getting the lyrics together. But we're gonna be in there real soon.
You're gonna need.
But right now we pushing focus and full.
Beat on there.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely could do that. I would love that. I'll collaborate with everybody, anybody. Let's get 50 songs on the album. I don't care.
Oh man, I forgot what I was just gonna ask. All right. Well, if you could collab with anyone dead or alive, who would it be and why?
That's a good one. But I gotta go straight for the real. I got Tupac.
Okay.
Tupac, and why? Because he tells his story. He tells his story unapologetically, and he tells his story truthfully, and he tells his story. He gives you the raw. It ain't no uncut. It ain't nothing. And that's what I'm trying to do with Focus and Fold. We're just gonna give you the raw. We want you to listen to it and just understand where we're coming from.
Rest in peace, Tupac.
Rest in peace, Tupac.
If you could collab with any producer, who would it be?
That's a good one. Producer.
We're a producer-focused platform. We try to give them their shine too.
No doubt. I gotta go with.
Say them all. It doesn't have to be one.
Okay, cool. We got Kanye West in the building. You gotta get Kanye. We gotta give.
Did you like the album?
Kanye got me messed up right now because you gotta manifest that. You gotta sit down, listen to that. You can't catch that one time. Yeah, we got Timbaland. I would like to do something with Timbaland too. Timbaland definitely somebody I would like to do something with. There's so many producers out there to do something with, but them two is definitely one of the main ones I would like to do something with.
All right, here's the deep question. If you could go back to the start of your musical journey, what advice would you give yourself?
Stay focused and never give up. And you don't need to do nothing else but make music and just stay focused.
I like that. What are some goals you have for yourself this year now that the world is starting to open back up?
Basically stay focused in this music. Try to get my family, my Av World family, through our Av World Music, our label pumping. We also got a book coming out called Family Reunion. That's basically telling you my life story through running to the street and realizing that thinking that the street is your family, but when it all comes down to it, family is only family.
When is the book coming out?
The book should be dropping like next year around this time.
I definitely need a copy of that.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that. I wasn't expecting you to drop that bomb. How is it working on a book?
Oh, just like I'm telling my story through music, I'm just gonna tell my story through a straight book, and it's basically gonna come from being a young kid, going through mom's addicted to drugs and trying to figure it out, and then you just frustrated, so you run to the streets and you mad at your family because you don't really understand what being a parent is until you're a parent. And then once you become a parent, you realize that job is not easy. But when you're a kid, you just being spoiled. You just think you want everything. And I was kind of upset. I felt like I didn't beg to be born, so you should take care of me.
I tell my mom that all the time.
Right. So then I ran to the streets and like, this is my family. But then when it's all said and done, when you're locked up in jail, you reflecting. Nah, family's your family. That's
exciting. That's really exciting. So are you writing it, or do you have somebody writing it for you? Are you working with a publisher?
I'm writing it, and then Art Deli, which is behind you,
she'll
take care of it. Yeah, shout out to our daily uncivilized truth.
Like, so who produced on the project?
Yeah, we only got 2 great producers, and the first one we got is Rich Morris from the Retreat Studio. Killed it. He killed all the tracks, and he's very musical. He's very in tune with whatever you want to do, and he makes you come in with a song. He makes the beat on the spot. And then we got my boy Raps. My boy Raps is definitely in there. My boy Raps killed
Shout out
it.
Raps.
Yeah, them 2 right there. They definitely looked out for me. They definitely took care of me, and they definitely took care of the project.
Those are the only 2?
They're the only 2.
Oh, shout out Rich. He's a little bro.
Yeah, after I got with Rich and Raps, I ain't need nobody else.
Both of them have been on the show too. They're In the Field Radio alumni.
No doubt, In the Field Radio alumni. I just made it. Put me on that wall. I'm in here.
All right, so shout out your socials and let the people know where they can find you, and then shout out the collective too.
All right. You can catch me on IG at L.Tism. IG L.Tism. Yeah. Get up there and follow me too. Follow what we doing out there on Instagram at L.Tism. You can also catch me on Facebook with my real name is Leatress, Leatress. Last name Tice, Tice. Yes, you can catch me up there on both of them. You also can catch me on all platforms and cop that focus the full L-Tism. Oh, YouTube. Make sure you go to YouTube and catch me on that L-Tism too. You got to go on YouTube and catch me on that L-Tism. Yeah. You catch me on Usual Suspects too.
Okay, we're going to get into some L-Tism and we'll be back. Welcome back to In the Field Radio. I'm Erin Boogie here with Miss Lady D.
What's going on?
And we just want to give a special birthday shout out to our WBK, our brother, DJ Tekwun.
Yes.
He holds it down at 2:00 on Thursdays. Make sure you tune in.
Happy birthday, Tech.
Yo, I don't think that I could stress enough that we would not be where we are without him.
We love Tech. Remember in the beginning, we were like, we don't know how to do this.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, we couldn't even get onto the air in the beginning without Tekwun. So if it wasn't for him, we would not be anywhere near where we are today. And possibly not even on the air.
Yo,
because remember our training, they were like,
he wanted me to check the prices for Cuban links out here. He knows what time it is in the Middle East. He's like, yo, how much are Cubans?
That's actually a good idea. See, he's always dropping gems.
I was like, that's all I ever buy out here. Some people build cars for themselves. Some people buy gold.
Oh yeah, yo, can you bring me back like a Rolls Royce or something from there on discount?
No, they only do, the best I can do is a Dodge Charger or a Camaro. That's what we do in the military.
I don't want none of those.
That's why I'm not building.
We pulled up to our hotel in Miami and there was a Rolls Royce parked out front. And I was like, you know what? I'm in the right place.
Oh my God, was it pretty?
Yeah, it was white. And then when we left, it was a Lamborghini parked out front.
Oh my God.
We live the good life over here, let me tell you.
Yo, when I go to Vegas, I think I'm going to do the thing. I think I'm going to do the thing where I rent a luxury car. Because the trip is paid for already. So by the time it's time for me to go, all I got to do is rent a luxury car.
You know what? I thought about doing that one time when I went away. And the price, I was going to rent an M3 for the day. And the price of the M3 for the day was the same amount of money as it was for me to get a white gold, rose gold, and mother of pearl ring. And so I got the ring instead.
Oh my God. Well, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I could drive this car and look really cool for a day, or I could wear this ring forever. And I choose the ring.
Yeah. See, this is why I always choose jewelry and I never feel bad about it. I'm like, I invested.
Same. See, for me, especially now, like having a German car, I don't know if I would rent something like that, or if I would just be like, I'm gonna wait till I can buy this.
Oh yeah, you have a Beamer. Like I have a Nissan Altima. Yeah. So, and the Nissan Altima is posing as a Infinity. It's like a fake Infinity.
Well, now when you come back, you should trade in the Altima and get a Beamer, and then we could be twins.
I will never get a Beamer.
Why?
I want a Mercedes.
Oh, we'll get that then.
Yeah. Or Cadillac.
Yo, the newer Cadillacs, they look like straight spaceships.
That's what I'm saying. And they have like coupes.
Although, let me tell you about how my mom has a Subaru Legacy. It's a 2021, and even that's like a spaceship. And then like Beamers are known for like their like classic look or whatever. And I get in my Beamer and I'm like, I have 1/10 of the buttons you do, and no screens, none of that cool stuff.
There's screens in the Subaru?
What? Like touch screens, and they're huge.
Oh my God. Stop, because I might get that too. Because aren't those things safe? Like,
yes, I love it.
And put it in there.
I had like 5 Subarus in a row. I love them, but by the time I got the Beamer, I was like just ready for something different. And then I was like, I'm depressed, and the only thing that will make it better is a white 3 Series. So I made it happen, and it did. It made me feel better.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said I wanted like a Mercedes or a Cadillac, and Ontario said that I was ghetto or stereotypical.
Oh my God.
It was like a black person. I was like, sheesh. But I like the way they look. I don't know. Maybe I'm genetically predisposed. I have no idea.
Oh my God. Who says that? She said I'm genetically predisposed
to loving Cadillacs or Mercedes. But hey.
I wanted a Mercedes, and then my parents got one, and like the electrical problems were unbelievable. That car was in the shop more than it was on the road. But I'll tell you what, my sister totaled their car, and it was old. I was like, there's no way. And they still got over 10K, I think, for the car, even though it was that old.
Wow.
Yeah, I was impressed. It definitely holds its value well. Oh yeah, I want to talk about Pledge Drive.
Pledge Drive.
So if you guys really love our show and all of the programming content on WVKR, we need you to open your wallets and gift us for Pledge Drive this year. Pledge Drive ran from September 7th to September 13th. So the last day will be when this episode airs. But the good thing is that you can give outside of that window. All you have to do is go to the WVKR website and download the pledge form. You fill out the form and you can mail it to WVKR Gifts at 161 College Avenue, Box 725 in Poughkeepsie, New York, 12603. And depending on how much you give, there's some sweet swag that you will get back. So, that's how this radio station runs, and we appreciate all of our listeners that you guys tune in and that you give every year, and that you help support our budget that helps keep us on the air.
Thank you.
From the bottom of our hearts. Thank you.
Should we send them some swag? I feel like maybe we can give them the AirPods cases.
I think we have some magnets left too that we could definitely get out to people. Yeah. So if you guys are going to make a pledge, please let us know at info@inthefieldradio.com with your address, and we'll send you some In the Field Radio stuff too.
Yay.
So real quick before we wrap it up, I wanted to touch on, have you seen, because I know you're all the way out there and you got so much going on, but have you seen the meme where it says, would you take $500,000 or dinner with Jay-Z?
Yeah.
Well, Tidal, which obviously is Jay-Z, tweeted out, take the $500K. Jay-Z does not want to have dinner with y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I thought that was hilarious.
That conversation keeps coming. This is not the first time that I've seen that.
No.
And I don't know why this keeps coming up. Someone also made another one like, would you want $250K or a track with Drake or something like that? And I'm like, dude, we need to just stop. It's not a good question. Like, no one cares.
And honestly, if you take the feature with Drake and do nothing with it, it will not help you. Please take the money. Always take the money.
Well, someone brought up an interesting point. They were like, while you're having dinner with Jay-Z, like, who the heck said that he wanted to even talk about that? Maybe he wanted to talk about sports. the Nets, anything.
Imagine he takes you to some place and dinner is like, completely unaffordable to the average person. And then he's like, you got your half, right? And meanwhile, you just let that 500K go.
Yeah, like who said he was going to pay for the dinner? There's a lot of questions.
And Jay-Z is not going to meet you at McDonald's.
So, what fast food do you think Jay-Z eats?
Do you think Jay-Z's on that wave where he's like vegan now and like totally healthy and like only eats vegetables and
Take Styles P vitamins?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like he sips like smoothies instead of alcohol now.
I don't know. Maybe.
What's crazy is so like Drake is the same way, right? But the two of them, like, they're just so mysterious. Like even when they do interviews, they don't really tell you anything. You don't really be seeing them out there much. There's just not. It's just they just live their lives very privately. So you don't got no clue what they're doing. Like you ain't never seen like a Jay-Z snap in the club.
Yeah. Yo, did you see speaking of Drake being weird, did you see Drake's new vase?
No.
He got a vase of a derriere, but the derriere has obviously been augmented in BBL fashion.
Lord.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
This man love him some BBL booty. I swear on Jesus.
Oh my God. So everyone on Twitter is like, of course the vase has a BBL. And I'm like, why would that even be depicted in a vase? I can't right now. The thing is, I have a vase of like a bust, and now I want to go inspect the vase. Like, is this a natural bust? I don't know. Like, what would this be considered? Like, now I'm concerned for my vase.
Oh my God. I think we have to end the show on that note because I cannot like Drake out here getting like BBL knickknacks.
So
I can't find it. You're gonna have to send it to me.
I'll send it to you. Apparently it's a thing that he has bad interior decorating tastes. Like,
oh yeah, no, absolutely.
So.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that L-Tism interview. Hopefully we'll be back next week with an interview. It's a little up in the air, but I have high hopes. So hopefully we'll be back with some more good content next week. Hopefully we'll be back with Lady D. I need you guys to definitely keep her in your thoughts and prayers and make sure she comes home safe.
Put good vibes out there or whatever voodoo. Like, let me just stay where I'm at for a little while. Just a little
for
while.
Real.
Like longer than a week.
Absolutely.
I just want to sit down. Okay. But yeah, it was nice being here.
Yes, so glad you're back.
Me too.
Well, back with the show, not back stateside, but y'all know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you can find us at In the Field Radio everywhere, inthefieldradio.com. Write us info at In the Field Radio, and we'll be back next week. It's 91.3 FM, WVKR, Poughkeepsie Independent Radio.
Thanks for chilling with those chicks on Mondays.